How's that?
No, we're not doing quality here, Jack. We're only here to talk about men having brotherly love and having a dramatic relationship with each other. And this is an unrelated thing that I'm telling you about. This is actually a porno that I watched the other day, so I thought I would let you know.
Oh, interesting.
It was a lot of men dressed up as different people. They sometimes would fight among each other, but at the end it gave me a wholesome message of what it is to be a man, what it is to be myself, identity. Besides that point, we're talking about the Winter Soldier, Falcon, and the Winter Soldier and the Falcon.
Just way too long. And at the end it gets even longer.
What's the longer name?
You didn't see the title card at the very end of the last episode? It changed. It became Captain America and the Winter Soldier. The show has 2 names.
That's not going to be confusing at all. It's the Captain America and the Winter Soldier, but also not Captain America and the Winter Soldier because that's a movie.
No. This is Captain America and the Winter Soldier. That movie was Captain America, the Winter Soldier. It's completely different.
Before we start getting off track like we usually do, let's give what's some of your first thoughts on this show? And then we can get us off track as you want, because I don't care.
I feel like I kind of had like the opposite progression with this show that I did with WandaVision. With WandaVision, I was like right from the first episode, I was like, yes, I'm into this. I want to keep watching this show. By the end, I was just completely uninvested. But with this show, I kind of got more and more invested as it went on. The story itself, I did not really care for it. I thought it was just a bit too convoluted. Like I had trouble keeping up with it week to week, but I liked the character stuff. It was all very good character stuff, I think.
So we will agree in a few things at the very least, because my thing is whenever the plot was going on at any point, I could not care at all. I was the most bored whenever there was anything related to main plot, and whenever characters were just hanging out and not dealing with the plot, that's when I was the happiest, because that's when the Marvel corporate man didn't show up to talk about how characters should be communicating with each other, what type of dialogue should be included, how they should act. Moments of calm, that's usually when their better writing is found, because the corporate writers don't care about that. They care about Sam Wilson becoming Captain America and the Winter Soldier punching people. That's all that matters for them.
This one, I feel like the only mandate that they had for this show was Sam Wilson has to become Captain America by the end. And like even then, it just felt like that was the natural conclusion to the story they wanted to tell anyway. But with WandaVision was like, you have to set up Monica Rambeau, you have to set up the Skrulls, you have to set up Wanda becoming the Scarlet Witch, you have to set up White Vision, like all of this stuff.
To be fair, this show is not any less convoluted and just messy in how many fucking things are going on at once. It's ridiculous that in 6 episodes, there is like 5 villains. And why is your main villain the most boring one?
There was literally no reason for like 3 of the villains to be there. Like, is it Batroc the Leaper? I can't believe he was like the big final boss bad guy.
Oh yeah, and then he just gets shot and dies.
R.I.P. Batroc the Leaper.
Oh, my favorite character.
Gone too soon. I was just gonna say Batroc didn't do any leaping.
He kicked something, I guess. Does that count?
I guess close enough.
I was going to say Sam Wilson leaped more than the Leaper, so he was leaping around, so that was fun.
His fight with Sam in the last episode, like it was very weirdly edited because they're fighting and then Sam just goes like au revoir and jumps out the window. Like he's not beaten yet, you just left.
Mr. Captain.
All of the fights are edited really badly for me. I've talked about this before we started talking about the show. It's just that over editing of choreography annoys me to no end, because a lot of it looks just fine and they just keep putting edits in to make it look cool. Just please rehearse, guys. Just rehearse and shoot the scene and hold the shot for more than 1 second in every action. I don't think any of the action of the show is gonna like be remembered by anybody at any point.
MCU action always looks the same. It's either people shooting lasers at each other in the sky or just like people doing karate at one another.
Very, very cut up karate. It's never karate that
Yeah.
you can actually get any appreciation for the form in which they're fighting. You never get to really understand what's going on. It's just cut, cut, cut. But it doesn't matter. The point of the show is to have things that are political so Twitter can fight about it.
Yeah, oh my god.
I think that's really what we're here for. We're just here for so the show can tell us that either we're bad or we're good.
We can do better.
In very simplistic ways, have sometimes characters deliver lines well, and everybody loses their goddamn mind, Jack.
Yeah, the people who can only see the world in terms of Marvel movies went insane from this show. This some incredibly ludicrous takes. Can I read that one that I sent you verbatim?
Yes.
2 blue check marks, one quote tweeting the other. This is in reference to the scene in which the Dora Milaje deactivates Bucky's arm during that fight with a US agent. First blue checkmark says, okay, but the Wakandans putting a built-in weakness in Bucky's arm is like really messed up. It shows they never fully trusted him. He spent years trying to finally reclaim his autonomy, only to be undermined in an instant by those who helped. And then second blue checkmark quote tweeting says, counterpoint, disabled whites, white is spelled YT, disabled whites need to understand that being disabled does not override whiteness, their racism, and everything that entails. Bucky stepping in to defend the white who assassinated, let's name it, King T'Chaka, an African king, is 100% whiteness defending whiteness.
Oh god.
I like how this person treats naming King T'Chaka as a stunning and brave thing, despite the fact that he is never and has never been real. He is a fictional person from a fictional movie that is fictional, so it's not brave to say his name. None of this is real. It's fake. Stop treating it like a real thing that is happening in the real world. It's a TV show. Get over yourselves.
To be fair, the person that was asking for a non-complex villain to show up in the show did get their wish with, I'm pretty sure his name is government official in the show in IMDb. If a government is the most cartoonish person ever, and then he's just, now that the Falcon / Captain America / Sam Wilson has told me that that's like not cool,
Do better.
I guess I won't do that because that's how the world works.
I actually did enjoy Sam's speech at the very end. I thought it was a bit soapboxy and kind of too long.
I thought it made sense for him to give a speech at that moment. I just thought that I'm like, these guys that were saying, let's move borders regardless of refugees' lives at stake, would have just been like, yeah, whatever, dude, get the fuck out of my face, don't talk to me.
In the show's defense, I'm gonna say that it probably would have happened differently if it wasn't being televised live. Since everybody saw Sam's speech, I think their reaction was different. Like if it had just been in like a private room, they probably wouldn't like, you don't understand what you're doing, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because it's televised, they have a little bit of an excuse given the show.
So it is very soapboxy. I'm not gonna deny, like it's kind of preachy.
Better.
I still liked it. It was a good heroic moment for him.
I know they needed it, but they could have done so much better with it. It just, by the end of it, I'm like, why is nobody going like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you keep telling us that she wasn't a terrorist? She tried to burn people on a car alive. What are you saying?
Worst case scenario, we kill the hostages.
She's a terrorist, we can call her that, but like I understood the sentiment in the moment.
If you keep being evil, more evil people are gonna show up to be evil to you. That's it. That's what he was trying to say.
I will say I thought that was a nice heroic moment, and also I really liked the scene where he shows Isaiah the section in the museum about him. I'm a sucker for like small heroic moments like that don't involve like, you know, punching monsters in the face. I mean, I like crazy action sequences. You know what I mean. You get what I'm saying. But I do think like those people who are like, why are you making Flag Smasher the bad guy? These people are literal children. They can't understand moral complexity. The whole point of the show is that the two contrasting ideas of John Walker and Sam Wilson. John Walker, who was just like, she's a bad guy, I'm taking her down. And then Sam Wilson was like, no, she's like doing terrible things and we need to stop her. But she's doing it for a solid reason, and I need to, like, I think she can be reasoned with. That's the whole point. That's the central conflict at the heart of the show.
You pointed something out very important, that the conflict of the show is new Captain America and Sam Wilson having different moral etiquettes of how to approach a bad guy. So can I ask you a question? Why is Zemo in this show?
Zemo has no reason to be here. Judging from the trailers, I assumed he was going to be the big bad of the show. And when they busted him out of prison, I assumed he was going to be like working with them, but he's scheming his own thing in the background. He does nothing. He acts completely out of character the way he does in Civil War. They act like his motivation is he hates super soldiers, and that's why he's helping, but no, he hates the Avengers. He hates super people.
And the Avengers?
He should want to kill Falcon and Winter Soldier. The most in-character thing he does is smashing all those vials of super soldier serum. Other than that, he's just acting completely out of character. He's more just there for comic relief, which is criminal considering what a good villain he is.
Apologies.
Did you understand why did Bucky decide to give him back to the Dora Milaje? Is it because he realized that Zemo played no important point whatsoever? It doesn't make any sense. The plot just has to keep moving, so we have to remove 2 side plots that don't matter at all. We failed to capture the Flag Smashers once. Let's break the supervillain out of prison so we can find information that we could easily find out on our own.
They baited us so hard with the trailer. Like, he puts the mask on in the trailer and like he's like, I'm gonna find time to do it myself or something like that. I don't remember exactly what he says. He wears the mask in one scene. They could have had something really interesting there with the Flag Smashers and Zemo having like similar outlooks on things, but like Zemo's just like, no, you're super powered. We can't. You have inherently put yourselves above everyone else by that doing that. So I don't want to work with you anymore. But they have similar outlooks on the world. That could have been something. That could have been interesting. But instead, he's just comic relief, giving silly looks whenever something crazy happens.
If I may.
No! Were we supposed to be surprised, shocked, annoyed, or just watching Carter become the power broker? What was that about?
That just kind of happened. I didn't really care.
Is Bucky and Sam just completely unaware that Sharon is evil? Are they that dense? I don't understand why they didn't just replace Zemo with her. They serve the same exact role. You're just wasting time, and you have 6 episodes. Stop introducing villains.
I lived my life by your mandates. I dedicated my life.
So I want to ask, what did you think of John Walker's story arc? We haven't really even talked about him at all.
For 90% of his portrayal on the screen, besides Wyatt Russell being a really good actor, and I really like him giving him his dialogue and talking and just being John Walker, his arc is the same as the Abomination.
Except he gets a redemption arc.
Yeah, he doesn't turn into a monster at the end. He just becomes an evil guy filled with super soldier serum. And then at the end, he decides to do the right thing, which I'm really, really happy about because he was a very interesting character.
Yeah, I was genuinely invested in that scene where like the van teetering off the edge, and then there was also the Flag Smashers, and he was like deciding which one to. I was genuinely kind of invested in like make the right decision. And then he did, and it felt good. I like that was probably the most investment I had in this show.
He's just a lame guy that has PTSD, that it's put into a role that he shouldn't be anywhere nearby. And then he just has to do the best with the situation. I really like the fact that they portray him having the pressures of being Captain America and he just can't let it go anymore.
He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what it means to be Captain America, but that doesn't... I like that this show has like more intricate villains than you might see from most MCU stuff.
Unfortunately, our main villain is the most dull lady ever.
I like what she represents more than like her actual character. Like just the central conflict of the show is how the two Captain Americas deal with her. But yeah, any scene that focused on her, I wasn't super interested in.
I almost feel like it would have been better for this to have been like almost an episodic type of show. 6 episodes where different Flag Smasher groups show up and both the Falcon and the new Captain America go there and try to handle it, and they clash heads, and then they have to have different conflicts, and then we just end the show with Sam becoming the Captain America. We didn't need this overly complicated show with bad government officer man and the power broker and Zemo and Val.
Actually, it's Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
Like, why the hell was Julia Louis-Dreyfus there? What did she add to anything?
She gave the new Captain America the US agent outfit.
She painted his costume black.
It's the same, but black.
Something that I literally thought he was gonna do himself.
Why couldn't he do it himself? He built himself a shield. Why can't he paint his costume black? She doesn't need to be there. John Walker could have had his arc without her.
And he did, essentially. She does nothing to the plot at all. She just shows up so you know there's more things to come.
Get ready for the US Agent show that we haven't announced yet, but I feel like is coming.
We've got a lot in store, Marvel Studios.
They like really kind of dropped the whole idea of Bucky and Sam having a rivalry very early on, and then after they dropped it, Bucky had like no reason to be there anymore. They could have just called the show The Falcon.
Well, they needed somebody to punch people, but I guess that could have been the new Captain America. The Winter Soldier is only there to punch people and for his arm to be way weaker than it was ever established to be. Vibranium is really strong, except when you get thrown against a wall. What do you mean his vibranium arm malfunctioned after being thrown at a wall?
My favorite scene with Winter Soldier in this entire show was just that one at the very end with the party after they reopen the boat. There's like kids hanging off his arm and he's acting like no big deal. It's cute. I like that.
This show could have been 2 hours of them fixing the boat and dealing with financial troubles, and Sam and Bucky practicing in the shield, and at the end Sam just puts a Captain America costume on. It would have been perfect. There's no action here, guys. They're just practicing, they're hanging out, and now he's Captain America. Shut up.
I did really like the Sam's Captain America outfit. Looked like it leapt straight off the comics page onto my TV screen. I appreciated that.
I did like the Rocky montage for Sam to become Captain America. All you need in any movie to establish that your character can do something is a goddamn Rocky montage, and you're good. And they did it. They did a good Rocky montage. I don't know how to wrap up talking about the show, just because like the show barely wraps up itself. It just, the subplots, we dropped them, and now we're just going back to where the characters kind of were in the beginning of the show, but they're a little bit happier.
The main plot wrapped up satisfyingly to me. The whole show was building towards Sam becoming Captain America. He became Captain America. He's good at it. That's the conclusion. That's the only thing we needed for the last episode.
I wouldn't call it the plot. I guess that was just the goal of the show, was to get him to become Captain America. He did it. He's a good one. The rest of the plot of Carly, whatever, like the Flag Smashers make no sense to me. They're both a ragtag team of terrorists that barely have any sort of tech or resources to function, but also a super worldwide threat that can do anything, never be caught by any sort of surveillance, and just show up at any point anywhere in the world. How are they flying there?
They're very well organized for being just a ragtag team of teenagers.
I mean, to be fair, they do establish that they have an app, which makes the fact that they haven't got caught yet even more stupid. Bucky just uses the app to lead them to a trap.
Why did they have an app? That was a very weird scene.
It's like having an app for ISIS.
Download it on the App Store and Google Play. You can earn points to get Amazon gift cards, depending on how many people you behead.
But it's okay, you're not a terrorist. You just have a different perspective. These are just labels. Oh, who wrote that dialogue and didn't think that would sound insane? That's fine. He said other things in that dialogue part that were okay, at least.
What don't I understand?
At least we went back to the boat. That's all I care about.
The boat was the only good subplot, I think.
The boat was the main plot. You shut it. That should have been the only plot that mattered.
It was a nice plot. I liked it. I was just gonna say, I think I liked the show a bit more than you did. If I ever decide I want to rewatch one of these shows, I would much sooner turn to Falcon and Winter Soldier than WandaVision.
I think overall is less quality bits than WandaVision, but it's way more consistent. The overall product is consistent and okay and competent at some things, and some of the writing is cutting it close to being kind of trash, but the character moments kind of save those other scenes and episodes. I don't think I can recommend this show. I can just watch a clip montage of the character moments and completely ignore the main plot and still understand what happened. So that's my suggestion.
You don't need to recommend the show. Anyone who wants to watch the show has already watched it. We're not swaying anyone's opinions.
This is true. We're only here to get people telling us how either super racist or super white knight we are because we didn't agree with both of their stance fully. If we're gonna make somebody give us a hate comment, Jack, just say whatever you want. Don't worry about it. It will not get back to you in any way.
Let me tell you all my opinions on my
All right, everybody, have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.